I had to go 8,977 miles to learn something about myself that was life-changing. It was a life-changing moment. In 2019, I went on a retreat to Bali. And if you've ever been to the big city Ubud, you know that it is a traffic jam. And our hotel was in city center. We were on a one-way street where traffic was, they drive like maniacs. And I'm a small town Iowa farm girl. I'm just not used to that kind of traffic. We had to exchange money from US dollars into the Balinese dollar. And the exchange place was across the street. So I had to cross that street. Again, small town Iowa farm girl, I'm like, to the retreat leader, could I get someone to accompany me across the street? So she got someone, made it across the street, got my money exchanged, and the next day she said to me, do you want to know what I heard when you asked to be, taken across the street? And I just thought I was, being safe. But I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to know what you heard. And she said, you don't feel seen. And in that moment, it was like my life flashed before my eyes. I went back to childhood, all the way back, and realized the truth in what she said. And I started crying. What she said was, what makes you think you're so small that people won't see you? What keeps you from holding your hand up to the traffic and then crossing the street? But you feel so small that you think they won't see you. So what you do is take yourself out of the equation first so that you don't get hurt. And I was like, wow, that is powerful. But when I got home, I started investigating and went back all the way to my birth. I was born cesarean. I was the third child of my mom's that was born cesarean. I have two older brothers. They both were born C-section. And back then, I was born in 1963, they would take a woman's appendix out for whatever reason when they did a C-section. Well, they hadn't done it with my two brothers, and so when I was born, they also took out my mom's appendix. She had complications from that, and she hemorrhaged after the surgery. I was born at 8:20 in the morning. Later that afternoon, the night nurse came in and said, oh my gosh, you have such a beautiful daughter. And of course my mom wanted a girl because she already had two sons. And she said, I wouldn't know. And the nurse was like, what do you mean you wouldn't know? And my mom said, because I haven't seen her yet. So my mom and I were not connected for at least 8 hours after I was born. And I think that original trauma of not being seen, because there's such a strong bond between a child, a baby, and the mother in particular, and to not be held by her, not to be touched by her, not to be seen by her, caused me, no fault of hers, obviously, but it caused me to live 55 years of my life not feeling seen and not knowing that. So I went into people-pleasing mode in order to feel seen, in order to get people to see me, to accept me, to like me, to fit in, and not feel as though I was going to be rejected or abandoned. That impacted all of my relationships, intimate relationships, friends, relationships with family, with bosses, with coworkers. It impacted all my relationships in my life. So I went to work on healing that. And once I realized how devastating all the people pleasing was to my life, I have been on now multiple retreats with different companies, different locations. I've done a lot of personal development work. I have studied the subconscious mind in order to reframe those beliefs that I had. I got certified in hypnosis so that I could use that powerful tool not only to help myself, but to help other people. And for the last 4 years, I've been doing this work, helping other people break free of people pleasing and that devastating pattern that it creates in our lives, and rewire the limiting beliefs so that their behaviors can change. Because until we change the beliefs that we have about ourselves, like for me, that I wasn't worthy of love, that I wasn't deserving, all from that original trauma, until I healed those beliefs about myself, until I rewired those beliefs, my behaviors would not change. I continued to say yes when I wanted to say no, because the belief was there that I wasn't worthy to say no and to speak up for myself and to put myself first. So that's what I help other people do now, is rewire the patterns that they've been conditioned to believe about themselves. I've gotten more pleasure and more inspiration and more joy from helping these people in the last 4 years than I have in the 45 years that I've been a working adult. So traveling 8,977 miles helped me break free from the lifelong pattern of people pleasing and put me on this path of helping other people do the same.